right, we're gonna add the hook in, okay? We're gonna throw the hook in a. Oh, you! That's what I was talking about. Mason. That's what I was thinking of, not Nick. Anyways, so, sorry, squirrel. This one's controversial. The reason why it's controversial is especially with boxers. They want to throw it one way, other guys like to throw it another, blah, 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 blah. So hooks tend to be controversial inside of the stand-up world, right? So across all platforms, if you will, okay? I'll give you the reasons why, the thoughts, so on and so forth. I'm trying to keep it short so that way we can actually do work, but I also want you guys to understand the whys behind everything, okay? So, in boxing world, okay, the world of boxing, they can throw the front leg and turn the hip and all that good jazz and get away with certain rules, right? In their world, right? If those rules work for their world because of their rule set, okay? Boxers do not have to worry about low kicks. Thai boxers do, okay? Same thing with just kickboxers. Kickboxers, that's what we're on low kicks too, right? Now, with that being said, that's not to say you can't get away with turning the front leg. You can, okay? Does it add a little more power? Yes. Apples to apples, I don't know as far as a comparison goes. Could never tell you because I've never done like a comparison in that instance. However, I will say this for preservation. If I step in and I throw a hook and you time the hook and you throw a low kick, well, my knee just got relocated over there. So I don't care to learn it. Does that make sense? I'm not willing to risk it. Okay? So with that being said, all right, well, I guess thing number 2 with that is I throw the hook here, he kicks. Let's say I beat him with the hook. I now have to take the knee, bring it back here, and then try to check the kick. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So if I throw the hook here, bam, now I'm trying to get all the way back to block the low kick. Okay? Can it be done? Yeah, maybe. I don't know how efficient it is though. Right? So this is the reason why we turn the back leg. So no matter what, if I turn the back leg on the hook and I hit you, boom, and you throw a low kick, I can take the low kick. I got weight on the leg. You see what I'm saying? Right? Now, with that being said, that's not to say we won't lift the toes a little bit. That's okay. But like I was saying earlier, the weight is on the leg. So if you kick me, great. Right? I can take the kick. You see what I'm saying? I would rather take the kick on the thigh than the back of the knee. Right? This just seems like more of a logical step, right? And I say it's controversial because people will teach it both ways, blah, 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 blah. Now, the next controversial thing is what you do with your hand, okay? Up, down, left, right, blah, 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 okay? I'll say this. It almost doesn't matter, okay? What determines what I do with my lead hand is how far or how close the guy is to me, okay? It's that simple, right? As long as you follow a few basic rules, right? Basic rule number 1. When you punch, you're punching with the core and the legs. Simple enough. I say that because what did we focus on yesterday?
Punching with
the core and the legs, right?
Yeah.
What were you doing before we started training?
Using the arms.
Using all arms. This is how you end up with a shoulder tear like Ardashir had in his fight, right? I'm not picking on him, I'm just pointing out the situation. Ardashir stepped in to throw a hook, all arm, tears his freaking labrum, right? So it happens, okay? So, thing number 1, you have to use the core and the legs, okay? Thing number 2, this is locked in place with this, okay? Again, I'm not going here, loading up the punch, and then trying to rip his head off. When I shift in for the hook, it's this, just like with the liver punch. So when I come out of this position, I start to drive off the toes. All I'm doing is extending the arm out, forward, not out here. I don't have to open up the hook. It's already doing what I need it to do. I've already loaded up, I've already got it in position, I've got everything going. So it's just here, and then as I come up, I'm reaching forward with the arm, and then I'm letting the shoulders and hips do the rest. I'm making my contact with the knuckle, not going all the way over here, stopping it where it is, whether I miss or not, and then I'm coming back to my load up position. Identical to everything we just did with the liver punch. Identical. Only difference is where I'm placing the punch. Okay? That's thing number 1 with this. Number 2, if he's in close, what we call a Tyson hook, right? Thumb up like a boxer, blah, 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 blah. If he happens to be further away and I need to step in and close the distance, and I load up, I might step forward, that's okay. And then I'm gonna extend. The further away he is and I'm trying to land that punch, the more I'll start to turn the hand out. Okay, so the other truth to that is this. You have to make contact with the knuckles. Your two lead knuckles. Not your pinky. You hit with the pinky and the ring finger, you're breaking your hand.
Where are you aiming?
Okay? Always,
With the hook, where are you aiming?
I'm aiming back of the jaw.
Okay.
Back of the jaw. That's your night-night button. Right here, side of the jaw, back of the jaw. Those are the two night-night buttons. You hit, you make connection again. It's about placement and accuracy. It's not about power. You connect the back of the jaw, you shut the brain off. Same thing with the chin. You connect the chin on the side, whack, it snaps. The brain hits the side of the skull. Boom, shuts the brain off. You follow what I'm saying? Right? Old saying goes, the shot that kills you is the one that you don't see coming. Same thing with a punch. The shot that knocks you out is the one that you don't see coming. Right? So you hit the back of the jaw. I'm aiming here. Okay? So anyways, drop in, load up the weight on the legs. Everything is off the toes. Right? So I drive up, pop. I punch with the body. Right? Chin tucked in. Here. Right? It's level. That's the other thing. The punch is level. I'm not punching here. I'm not throwing the elbow high. Everything is level. Okay? Come back to my position. Come back to my position. So drop in. Drive off the toes. Bomb. Eyes on target. Chin tucked into the shoulder. Hand up high. Like I'm answering my telephone. Pre-2005. Load up. Load up. Okay? Y'all know why I say 2005? Because now everybody answers their phone like this. Right? Follow what I'm saying? So, in, bam, and back. Okay? The motion is exactly the same. Your aim point is different now. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4. But because you already know the motion, I don't have to do a 4 count. We're just going to go 1 and throw it all in one shot. So march in, just like we practiced. 1, hack, and come back. 2, hack, and come back. 3, hack, and come back. So now I'm punching with the legs and the core, not the arm. Make sense? Okay, let's go. Okay, so now you're going to double up on the punch. So you're going to shift in. 1, tack, tack, and come back. Okay? All right. 2, shift in. Tack, tack, and come back. All right. 3, tack, tack, and come back. Okay? You guys got it? This is the other reason why we shift with the motion the way we do. It allows me to load up the weight on the hip. I make the punch. If I just do this, you follow what I'm saying? I then now have to go back and do all this again. Even if I got away with it, right? And I made the punch and then I drew a straight line with my head, if you will. You now have to go all the way back to this position. Whereas if I shift in, I punch, I come back, I'm ready to go again. You follow what I'm saying? Right? So clack, clack. All right? You should feel everything off that lead hip now, okay? All right, here we go. Ready?